Did you know that the largest organ of your body is actually your skin? That's right. Your skin makes up about 16% of your overall body mass. So it's just as important to take care of your skin as it is your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your brain, and any other part of your body that normally gets more attention. Hello, and welcome to all of you that are on your journey for good skincare. I'm 65 years old, and my journey began when I was 16. And like a lot of you, I have made tons of mistakes and spent an insane amount of money in search of beautiful skin. Now, I'm not an expert, but I do have years of experience in the topic, obviously. But I'm also here today because my husband says I have beautiful skin. And that is something I promise I tell you now that I never thought I would ever hear. I grew up idolizing Christy Brinkley and Cindy Crawford, supermodels of my day. I read any interview they gave where they talked about their own skincare routines, what they did, what worked, what didn't work for them. And they would say things like eat right, get enough sleep, stay out of the sun, etc., 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 things we've all heard before. But I wanted a magic bullet that was going to work overnight. Well, guess what? After much trial and tribulation, I found out they were absolutely right. So I'm here to pay it forward to the rest of you about what works and what really doesn't. And the secret is, what works is actually simpler, cheaper, and easier than you think. More on that a little bit later. So for just a little history on the background, I've soaked my face in alcohol to make it dry up. I have taken tetracycline pills till it made my teeth turn gray. I've lathered my face in Oxy-10 and similar types of products. I have picked pimples and blemishes day and night and cried many tears because nothing seemed to work. Does that sound familiar? Well, if it does, stick around. The reason why those things don't work is because I wasn't looking logically at the problem. The skin has a normal amount of oil that it needs to have in order to feel supple and smooth and elastic. Anything that you do to your skin that completely dries it out, like I was doing, will only make the skin produce more oil. Exactly the opposite of what you want to do. As far as the tetracycline is concerned, tetracycline is a well-known antibiotic, and that works, but it only addresses the skin if there's an infection to clear up, because that's how antibiotics work, right? If there's an infection or if there's a bacterial problem, then tetracycline would work. Now, lathering my skin in all kinds of lotions only clogged up my pores and made my skin rough and bumpy. So I finally got smart around 40 years old and decided, I'm not letting the 18-year-old girl at the Lancome counter tell me what to do for skincare advice. Now, that's nothing against Lancome, and it's certainly nothing against an 18-year-old sales girl. But I was going on the search for skincare that would make sense for me, that would work for me, that would help me learn to know my skin. Hopefully, you'll see that there's a method to all this madness. And for those of you that are listening today in your teens and 20s, believe me, it is never too early to start a good skincare routine. So let's charge right in here. There is no accounting for genetics. Some of you are blessed with good skin genes, and hooray for you. But that's not really the case for most of us. But that certainly doesn't mean that we can't make the most of living in the skin we're in. Just like any other organ of the body, you need to be able to nourish your skin so that it can perform at its best. Right, so before we even think about what we're going to put on the surface of our skin, let's think about cleaning it, making it healthy from within. And I do that with 3 very valuable things. Now, the first thing is water. I know Cindy and Christy both said water, and they were absolutely right. Now, there's a gazillion articles out there about how much water you should drink in the day, and I'm not going to go over that here, but they'll talk about how much you should drink, what kind of water you should, when in the day you should, whatever. You guys can go look for that yourself. Just know that if the skin becomes dehydrated, that is a real stressor. If you're chronically dehydrated, your skin will wrinkle more, it'll sag more, and it will also collect dirt and blemishes more easily. The second thing I do is vitamin E. I take that in a little capsule, 400 units every single day. And I've been doing that also since I'm 16. Now, vitamin E is a wonderful thing because it not only will help with your skin, but it also has very positive effects for hair, nail growth, bone, joint health, many other needs that our body have can be met by vitamin E. So that's a good thing to add to your daily regimen. The third thing is what's called collagen powder. Now, the collagen powder that I use is called Vital Proteins Collagen Peptides. I really like this product because you can add 3 scoops of this to a daily drink, and it dissolves really easily, either in your coffee or water or flavored water or what have you, and it has really no flavor. Now, what's so important about collagen in the first place? Well, collagen is a protein that's responsible for healthy joints and skin elasticity. It's actually in your bones, in your muscles, and in your blood. And you might be surprised to hear that it actually makes up about 3/4 of your skin and 1/3 of the protein in your body. Now, your body starts to produce less and less collagen when we get into our 30s and 40s. So adding collagen to your diet can replace what our body begins to lack as we age. Now, when we talk about water, it's not just drinking it and cleansing with it. But one of my recommendations for skincare is to use water in the form of steam. And I've also used a steamer on my face since I was 16. And that is a true story. Let's think about it. Now, when dirt collects on your face, it mixes with the oils that are naturally there, all of that begins to plug and clog the pores. So, how do we normally just clean our faces? Well, we'll just put a little soap on it, rinse it off with water, and that'll usually get most of it off the surface. But in the pores, that plug of dirt still remains, and it can foster at a later time a pimple or blackhead. So the solution, let's open those pores with the steam, soften up whatever plug is in there, and loosen up the plugs to be removed when you cleanse. That way, your pores are allowed to breathe, and they're fully clean, removed of any debris, including any kind of bacteria, dirt, or any residual makeup. Now, along those lines, all of us in the day can potentially sweat a lot, whether it be with exercise, hot weather, stress, whatever. But what happens if after sweating, when your pores are nice and open and the sweat is coming out, you let that sweat dry on your skin? What happens is it just dries as a plug in your pores. So the moral of that story is cleanse after sweating. Now, how much does this all cost? Well, a little bit of water to make steam, 2 to 3 minutes of your time, and a simple source of steam. It really doesn't cost very much at all. Now, in a minute, I'll take you through my routine, and you'll see each of the products that I use, and I've used the links below to describe all of them to you, so you can go to Amazon and pick whatever you want. Now, a word about products in general. You can easily bankrupt yourself on products, as most of you well know. Now, my advice is to put the bulk of your money into 3 basic items, okay? That would be choose a really good cleanser, number 1. Number 2, a really good toner, something that, or astringent, whatever word you'd like to use, that kind of makes your face feel fresh. And number 3 would be a moisturizer. Now, if you can afford it, a professional facial using medical grade products performed by a professional is a really nice thing to add to your routine. If you can do that every 4 to 6 weeks or so, you're really doing yourself a big service. And the reason I say that is because I've heard some really sad stories in the past about women who were getting ready for a big event, prom, wedding, birthday, or some other reunion, I don't know, some other kind of celebration, and they haven't been used to a good skincare routine, but they know they really want their skin to look good for the event. So a few days before the event, they go to schedule for a facial. Okay, here's what happens during that time. If you've not been taking care of your skin all along, you have hidden dirt there that you may or may not be aware is there. The process of the facial itself is to agitate the skin somewhat and bring all those impurities to the surface. Guess what happens when all those impurities comes to the surface? It turns into a massive breakout. So sad. And there you are, right before your big event. So, the moral to that story is keep a good routine and you're never in that position, right? That's pretty easy. So, now we're going to roll tape where you can take a look and see me at the beginning of my skincare routine. So here we are getting ready to start the morning prep for our face before all the makeup goes on. The first thing that we do is to create a little bit of steam with this little hot pot. Very inexpensive. You can get them for about $19 on Amazon, and all the links to everything that I use today will be listed in below the video. So the most important thing about the steam is that it opens up your pores and enables all the stuck oils and dirt and grime from the day before to come to the surface. And then we can wash them off. Now that might seem like that's a lot of work to do, but you have to remember that anything worth having is worth working hard to get, yeah? And it only takes a couple minutes really. So here I've got a little bit of steam going right now. I'm going to show you what I do. Just gently hold your head over the steam. This typically is going to take just about 2, maybe 3 minutes, depending on how much of a boil you got going in the water. Just kind of move your face around so that it gets to all parts of your face and your neck. You can probably hear it bubble in there from now, yeah? You can also do this if you want to, you know, just over the stove or whatever, I guess, wherever you can get some hot water. Anyway, so there it is. So now you can see on my face, it's a little red, and the pores are open. You can see that it's a little wet as well. Now, the next thing to do is we're going to take a washcloth, and you can get these kind of washcloths. These are cheap, okay, by the way. You're going to be throwing them away after a few uses anyway. They're kind of rough. You know, you can take a look at that. Rough cotton. You can get these at Walmart for like $4. You can get like 10 or 12 of them, I think. And the idea of it is because they're rough, you want to be able to just kind of gently take all of that oil off your face and the grime that came with it, yeah? So be sure that you get your neck all around the hairline, every bit of part where the steam had touched. All right, next thing that we do is go right to the cleanser. Now, I'm gonna say that in skincare, you could spend a whole lot of money on stuff, right? But you've seen the steam, cheap, right? The washcloth, very cheap. Save your money for a really good cleanser. And the one that I use is from Skin Medica. I'm gonna put it right up there so you can see it. The AHA Exfoliating Cleanser. Exfoliating, as most of you know, means that it also helps to take off any kind of debris that's on your skin. So it just takes a little tiny bit. So this little tube is gonna last a long time, okay? And we just rub it all over your skin. You can feel a little bit of grit in it. Feels wonderful, actually. Okay, that's very simple, yeah? And then we're just gonna wash it off with the same washcloth. Be sure you rinse it out rinse your washcloth out at the end. Make sure that the debris that came out on Monday doesn't end up on Tuesday's towel, yeah? And you have to put a little bit of elbow grease into this. You know, most of the time I see skincare commercials are like very gentle with their skin. I get that. But remember, you gotta put at least a little effort in it to get all the dirt and grime off, right? Like you would get dirt and grime off a floor or a countertop. We're gonna pause right now and go next into the prep room. Okay, we're back in the prep room now. And you can see that my skin is kind of taut, which actually feels pretty good. It's a little red right now, just from the steam, of course. But it's all red. It's like a fresh canvas, right? Ready to put stuff on. And you know, you got to remember, you can't only cover up so much with makeup, right? The beauty and the cleanliness comes from within. So that's what we've been spending our time on. So now comes the next step. And again, like I said, there's a few things that you really should spend the money on. The next thing I'm going to show you here is what I use. It's called Obagi. It's a toner. And most of you already know that when you put a toner on, it's just kind of really to freshen up the skin. Feels a little tingly. Just put it, doesn't take much and doesn't take long, but put it everywhere, including your neck, including your chest, where you want your skin to be look really good. Okay, now that's going to dry. Just kind of accelerate the process here a little bit. Okay, next thing I do, and a lot of people don't think about this also very much, is prep my lips. Because in order for lipstick to look really good and to stay long, you got to make sure that you don't have all that flakiness on your lips. Now we've made sure that a lot of it is gone because of the steam process, right? And rubbing across your lips with the washcloth. But the other thing that we can do here is, this is a gem. This is a gem, and again, very inexpensive. I think that this costs about, I don't know, $6, $7 on Amazon. And again, this will all be linked at the bottom of the video. This is called Chapstick Total Hydration. Typically, this comes with a little tube of chapstick as well. But what's in the little hydration thing is like a grit. Right? It's like a grit paste, okay, if you would. So take just a little bit of it. Again, this will last a long time. Put it on your lips and rub it around. It actually smells really good too. It's like a peppermint feel. You know, the other thing that this does is it kind of softens these lines that we all get right around our lips. Yeah, so that's a good thing. So you do need to go ahead and wash it off. So I'm going to dip down real quick. Otherwise, you'll be tasting that grit all day. Not a bad thing, but you really don't want to do that. Okay, next step here. Again, a good product. This is also from Skin Medica. It's called TNS Advanced Serum. Okay, get a good look. This is great stuff. Again, some of these things might seem a little expensive, but you listen, a little tiny amount goes a long way. All over the face, under the eyes, down to the neck and chest. See how fast that was? Didn't take any time at all. Now, just because I'm a little older, I'm also adding another product, also from Skin Medica, that's called Instant Bright. It's an eye cream, meant to just kind of do the same thing here underneath the eyes, to just kind of, again, soften the wrinkles. I don't think it really is supposed to do much for the bags, but it helps the dark circles too. So, there you go. Now, for all of you today that are thinking that you're just going to get skincare, I'm going to give you a little added bonus here. I'm also a nurse, and what I learned years and years ago is that if people just added a little bit of Neosporin, you get it over the counter. Am I holding that right? No, sorry. Neosporin like this, and dab a little tiny bit inside your nose. Do you know how much that helps you from getting sick? It's amazing. You can wear a mask over your face if you want, but your nose is always exposed. So like if you get on an airplane, if you're in a group of sick people like we are when we work at the hospital, A very good thing, because you know why? They used to put this on or inside the noses of patients that were having total joint surgeries because they didn't want them to get infected. Now, think about that. If you were to put this inside your nose, it would probably keep you from getting infected too. All right, so that's just a little added bonus. So now here we are. That's all we did. I'm totally prepped. I'm like a fresh canvas ready to be painted. We're not going to do that today, but I just wanted to show you just how simple and easy the routine of skincare can be. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to mention that weren't mentioned in the video, and that's specifically about makeup removal prior to steaming and cleansing. It's a good idea to get a good makeup remover on your skin, and I use this product right here. Also, the link will be in the screen below. Neutrogena makeup wipes, not too acidic, not too basic, you know, no alcohol, so it's very cool and refreshing on your skin. The other thing I want to make a point about is especially about eyelash glue remnants. Now, I am kind of new to wearing false eyelashes, and the ones that work best for me are the ones with glue on them. Okay, really, really important that you be able to remove all of that excess glue. And the way that I do that is I have a little magnifying mirror that I leave on my mirror in the morning. It's always there. And then I take a little Q-tip with a product called Rose Eye Makeup Remover. Put the Q-tip right up there alongside your eyelashes and really get all of that extra eyelash glue off of there. Because, you know, I tell you what, I heard from my eye doctor, of all people, that if you don't get all of that glue off, that it can just kind of float around on your corneas. It can hurt your vision, and it can plug up the natural oils that keep your eyeball moist. We pay a lot to be beautiful, don't we? The cost is great in a lot of ways. So anyway, don't sacrifice your eyes for that. Just be sure that you make sure that you get all of the glue off. So remember, I wish I could tell you that your skin was going to change overnight, because we all want immediate results. And depending on where you're at, it may take a month to 3 months for you to see real improvements there. But I promise, if you do this every day, you're well on your way to clear, smooth, youthful skin that'll last for years. And if you're looking for a way to give that kind of skincare gift to another person, what could be better than packaging up some of the products or all the products that I've mentioned to you and giving them to your loved one? Right here is an idea, yeah? You can take a steamer, you can fill it with washcloths, cleanser, lip stuff, Neutrogena, moisturizer, toner, and the steamer itself. What a great gift. Thanks for listening today. I hope this helped you on your skincare journey. Feel free to comment. Thanks for listening.